The market is saturated. Man, they ain't buying because the market's too many people. It ain't. No, it's not. The saturation area is at the bottom. It is mad saturated with people who bought a camera from Best Buy and decided they want to take family portraits and do an hour session for $50. It's mad saturated in the area of people who don't understand business, or they don't take this serious enough to focus on the business. That is where the saturation is. It is saturated in the area of sometimers, people who like, well, I guess I ain't really going. It's saturated in the area of people who think the camera is what makes the money and not this, not the business, not the brand, not building a company to get in front of other companies or individuals. It's only saturated at the bottom. The minute you start learning how to build a brand or business, the saturation is gone. Once you break above the saturation line, there's plenty of business out here. In fact, so much that you won't have the ability to get to all of it. But you have to get out of the big saturated area and move above it by understanding how to properly run a real business and not just being a photographer or videographer or editor or a podcaster. The saturation is at the bottom. Just like pouring sugar in a cold drink, it's going to sit right at the bottom. And everything is going to be right there. You have to understand what it takes to get above that line. And it's really this. It ain't gear. Everybody can afford gear. In fact, I can take all your favorite pieces of equipment and shoot a picture with them. And if you were forced to pick what was what, you would get it wrong a majority of the time. It's not the gear. Your ability to buy the gear don't set you apart. Your ability to use the gear to provide a return on investment for your client is what sets you apart. That's very important. The saturation line is thick at the bottom, and it's way at the bottom. Way at the bottom. You can go through 3 chapters in module 1 and get above that line easily. You can go through 3 chapters and be above the saturation line. I see it all the time. And it's easy to go from $800 jobs to $8,000 jobs simply by getting out of that saturation area, by understanding the value of a brand and business and problem solving, as compared to taking better pictures, having a portfolio site, buying sliders and all this crap you see on YouTube that don't help your business. So real quick, run over these 5 and I'm gonna slide out unless I got some questions. Real quick, 5 of the worst pieces of advice I've ever seen given in 2024. 1 is create great content and clients will come knocking. That's BS. Don't work like that. Create a great brand that solves a problem and be where they look. That's how you get them to come knocking. Number 2 is build a great portfolio. Shooting for free. This is a no-go. We will no longer shoot for free unless it's in exchange for the things I need to be great, and just pictures aren't it. You have to, in module 1, we lay out a list of information you need to get from a client to help you understand what you should be pricing, to help you understand where to market, to help you understand if your color scheme is right, to help you understand if your website is effective, to help you with everything that you need. That's what you should be getting if you're going to shoot for free. And we talk about it heavily in module 1. I'll punch you in the throat with that because it's real important. We talk about that heavily in module 1. There are things you need to get from a client to make it worth your time, as well as how to handle it. How do I handle it? I can't just go in and say, what you need shot, I'm gonna shoot it. And you tell them, no, don't work like that. Don't work like that. Go in there like that if you want to, you're going to get used and abused. Number 3 is a portfolio website is all you need. That is incorrect. We need way more than a portfolio website. Let me kind of break down where portfolio websites started and who likes portfolio websites. Okay, if you are a freelancer, that's different than a business owner. That's a much smaller check. That's hourly. If you are a freelancer and you're working with a project manager who is used to hiring freelancing photographers and videographers, they will need to see a portfolio website. That's the target audience for a portfolio website. is for freelancers to get hired, not businesses, not for companies to hire you. Project managers who live a life directing projects, who live a life understanding what's a good photographer, what's a bad photographer, what's a good videographer, what's a bad videographer, need to look through your shots to determine if you're a fit for that project. Freelancers, not business owners, not project managers. Freelancers need portfolio websites because they're only being hired by staff members of a production team. Staff members can look at your ability to shoot, film, light, composition, whatever, and determine whether or not you're a great fit for this project. Your client who got a problem cannot. So a lot of times, a lot of people take this information from those who want to be DPs and key grips and second shooters. They take information from them guys and they try to go out in the real world and they wonder why businesses or people don't hire them. You've taken your advice from a filmmaker that's looking to get into the film industry. Completely different than what we do here. Very important that you understand the difference. Because a lot of people hear portfolio website. It's the first thing they go do and they wonder why my pictures are good. Why am I not getting calls? That's why. And then them portfolio websites be all over the place. Be pictures of birds, kids, dogs. You don't solve a problem. Sorry, not sorry. Number 4, like I said, is charging the client based off your gear and your experiences. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. It's something you should never do. When I hear people do that, it's because of their lack of knowledge and for lack of better terms, ignorance of how business work. And I've said it 20 times. You don't care how long the guy flipping a burger been flipping a burger. You're not going to pay more because he can flip a burger better. Just don't happen like that. And photography and videography is starting to get the same way. Because guess what? You could say you've been filming for 10 years. So has anybody with a camera phone. The years of experience don't matter because this generation has grown up their whole life taking pictures. My 4-year-old got a small digital camera already. By the time he's 20, will he have 20 years of experience as a photographer? He could say so. So years of experience don't matter because everybody, it ain't like it was like 20 years ago. It was special to meet a guy who had 10, 15 years of experience behind the camera. Now everybody does. So it didn't matter. And cameras aren't that big of a deal anymore. Where, back in the day, we all wanted Rebels because that was the big camera. Like that was the big camera with the lens. Because we felt like that quality was unmatched. But people are walking around with cameras in their pocket that can zoom in and get pictures of the moon. You think they care about your camera? They don't. They're walking around with cameras that can detect face, whiten teeth, skin smooth lines or smooth skin lines instantly. Record video and go live to whatever social media platform instantly. You think they care about your gear? They don't. They don't. Last but not least, the last piece of bad advice that's been pushed out here is the market is saturated. And we know that it's not. It's just a lot of people at the bottom who don't strengthen this, who go out and buy gear thinking it'll get them out of that saturation pool. And that is just not true. All right.